With immense prayers to overcome the pandemic situation of COVID 19, St. Mary's School welcomes you to our online classes. It's Divya here with your physics classes. Concise Physics for Middle School, Grade 6, Selena Publications. This is the preferred book we are going to follow as per ICSE curriculum. We will be discussing about the topic matter, wherein we will be discussing what is matter, what about its constituents, atoms and molecules. Now, to begin with, before going into our portion, matter and its constituents, let's see what science is. See, when you hear about the word science, so many things will be coming to your mind, like your subjects you are learning, physics, chemistry, maths, or nature, universe, so many things will come to your mind. But actually, the word science, it comes from the Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. Those knowledge which we are going to obtain through observation and investigation, which we are going to conclude it as our results and put it into the science. Now, science is actually a very vast subject, including many branches. Now, out of which in my classes, we will be discussing about physical science, which mainly includes the study of matter and energy, which you will be learning as physics and chemistry as your subjects in science. Then you may be thinking, what about the subject bio? That also comes in science? That actually is into another branch, namely natural science. Let's begin with matter. What matter is? Anything that occupies space and has mass, you can call it as a matter. Now, what matter is made up of? Matter is usually made up of atoms or molecules. Now, let's see what atoms are and what molecules are in detail. The word atom comes from Greek word atomos, where A means note, tomos means cut, or in short, one which cannot be cut or indivisible. Now, all matter is made up of atoms that we have already seen. Now, what is atom? Atoms are tiny microscopic particles which are indivisible. Now, like the cells are the building blocks of our human body or a living organism, you can see that atoms are the building blocks of all elements. Now, one thing about atom is that it cannot exist independently and freely in nature. We have seen what atoms are. These atoms, when they combine together or combination of two or more atoms together, you call it as molecules. Now, unlike atoms, molecules, they can exist independently and freely in nature. Now, when you come to these molecules, we have already said that combination of two or more atoms. Now, in such cases, if it is composed of only one atom in it, you call it as monoatomic molecules. For example, helium, neon, argon, etc. Now, if it is going to combine or if it composed of two atoms, you call it as diatomic molecules. Example, hydrogen molecules, oxygen molecules. You will be writing it as H2 and O2, right? So, such molecules comes under diatomic molecules. Now, what if it composes of more than two atoms? You can call it as polyatomic molecules. For you to understand it more interestingly, what atoms and molecules are, I will show you a part of a YouTube video by Make Me Genius. So this is only a part of it. Those who want to see the full video, the link is there in the video itself. You can go and watch it completely.
I am an atom. Yes, an atom. Can you see me? Oh yes, I know you can see me on your screen, but I am just an imaginary picture of an atom. Real atoms are too tiny. You can only see them under a very special microscope. Do you know the meaning of your name? Also know the meaning of my name. It means that which can't be cut, that which is uncuttable. Actually, it's a Greek word, which means it is indivisible, which means it can't be divided further or can't be cut further. See, this sentence is made up of words, but words are made up of letters. So letters are the smallest units of a sentence. Similarly, everything is made up of molecules, but molecules are made up of atoms. So atoms are the smallest unit of everything. Look at this. See, water is made up of water molecules, but water is made of atoms. There are 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen in each water molecule. So when atoms join together, they form a molecule.
Coming to the characteristics of molecules, both atoms and molecules, they are very so small, about the size of 10 raised to minus 10 meter only. That is why it is too small that it cannot be seen even with the help of a microscope. Now the second thing is that these molecules, they have spaces between them. Now the spaces between the molecules, you call it as intermolecular spaces. These intermolecular spaces varies in all the 3 states of matter, solids, liquids and gases. In detail we will see when we learn the topic states of matter. According to the availability of these intermolecular spaces between them, the molecules of a particle, they will be in constant motion, and whatever molecules are moving, they will be having kinetic energy also. Now when you talk about this type of motion, when we learn about the types of motion, we are learning random motion or zigzag motion, which is having no specific direction. So these molecules of particles in liquids and gases are always in random motion. Coming to one of the important characteristics of molecules, they have the property to attract each other. Now this force of attraction between the molecules is called intermolecular forces. Now the forces existing between the particles can be intermolecular force of attraction or it can be of repulsion. Now this intermolecular forces, it can be a strong intermolecular force of attraction like covalent bonds, or it can be weak intermolecular attraction. The force of attraction between the molecules of solid will be very strong. In liquid it will be less strong, whereas in case of gases it will be negligible. Now, when we talk about the force of attraction or intermolecular forces, an important topic we have to discuss is cohesive forces and adhesive forces. Now, forces developed between molecules of same material, you call it as cohesive forces, whereas if the forces developed between molecules of different materials, you call it as adhesive force. For example, the force existing between the water molecules within themselves will be cohesive forces. Whereas the force developed between the molecules of water and the body of the container in which it is kept. Say for example, if water is kept in a glass tumbler, the force developed between the water molecules and the glass will be of adhesive force. With this, we are winding up today's topic. Read your prescribed textbook, that is Selena Concise Physics textbook, properly. Solve the questions at the backside in your copy, whatever questions related to the topic that we have learned today. And if you have any queries related to this topic, put it in the comment box. I'll reply for that. Till then, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stay safe.